Okay, so now let us see a program where the server can run an infinite loop and can service multiple clients, of course, one at a time. Okay, so this is like an iterative server. So for that, let's look at the program. So the client program is similar to the initial simple client program that we saw in the previous video, example 4.1, that just opens a connection to a server. So as you see the client program, it's just like getting the domain name of the server and get translating that to the IP address and then the port number at which the server is running, and then opens this socket object, creates this object of class socket using this constructor that takes the IP address and the port number as the arguments, and then you're going to read the welcome message sent by the server. So you need to use a buffered reader class, and then this is the way you create the buffered reader object, and then call the readline method on the object and print out welcome message, and then close the socket. So the client socket is the same thing as we saw before. The server program, sorry, client program is the same thing as you saw before. The server program is also the same thing, except that it needs to now run in an infinite loop. Again, the server program is just going to send the welcome message. It's not going to expect any reply from the client. Okay, so what we should do now is, so basically the server should run infinite loop, serving one client at a time. So as you see here, the message, again the welcome message is going to be the same message that is input by the user, and then the server socket is created only once. So make sure you understand this. So server socket, which is waiting for the incoming client request, is created only once, and it runs on the port number passed as argument by the user. Then you open an infinite while loop. Inside the infinite while loop, you call the accept method on the server socket object. So this is now a blocking call. So the server is going to block until a client connects to the server. So once a client connects to the server, an object of class socket, I call it as data socket, is instantiated, and then you use the print stream method to print the or send out the welcome message. So after sending out the welcome message, you also flush it on the print stream object, and then you can close this particular data socket that you are using to communicate with this particular client. And then you go back to the while loop. It's an infinite while loop. So again come inside, and then you call again the accept method on the server socket object that you created outside the loop. So again what will happen, the server is going to get blocked until another client contacts the server, and once the client contacts the server is going to send the welcome message and then close the socket, which means close the communication with that particular client, and then go back and wait for another client. So basically this server can serve any number of clients, of course one at a time. Okay, so that's what we are going to see now. So it's the same client program, but since I compile the duplex program before, I'll make sure I compile the connection client.java program, the simple client program. And then at the server side, I need to compile the connection server iterative.java. So the connection server is going to take two arguments, the welcome message it wants to send to every client, and then the port number. Remember again the connection server iterative.java, this program, but this is the name of the program, but the name of the class is still connection server. That's the name of the class in which the main function is declared. So I'll just say connection server, and then the message. So again, welcome to Java socket programming or something. And then the port number at which the server is going to run. So now start any number of clients. So let's go to this client program. So it expects two arguments, which is the which are the local host, which is IP address or domain name. So Java connection client, again that's the name of the class which the main function is declared, and this is this 234. So it gets a message, but you see the server program is still running. Okay, the server program is still running. This client has stopped. You can launch another time the client, gets reply. And you want to open another terminal if you want, but it's not needed because since the client program has stopped, when you run this thing, it's again like a new client trying to connect to the server. Okay. So now to stop the server, now remember the server program, I did not call the after the infinite while loop, right? Hence this is the infinite while loop. I did not call something like connection socket dot close. I did not close the server socket explicitly. Why I did not close the server socket explicitly? Because this runs an infinite loop. So you never know when the program is going to terminate. Okay, so if you had this line connection socket dot close and then let me see, the server is still running. Okay, it's still running. So to stop the server, press Ctrl C. Okay, now let's compile the server with that line. It's going to give an error message telling error unreachable statement, because since this is running in an infinite loop, this statement is unreachable, right? Because the program could run forever if run, right? So that's why we should avoid this line and just press Ctrl C to stop the server. That will close the socket, the server socket. Okay, so don't try to close the server socket when you're running in an infinite loop. So server socket is created outside the loop, and inside the loop you service the different clients, and then you just finish the program as it is. So you don't close the server socket explicitly. Okay, so just press Ctrl C, that will close the server socket. Alright, so let me compile this. Now it shouldn't be a problem. Okay.